Can Argo Blockchain, the most profitable Bitcoin play on the market, explode in price as Bitcoin hits $60,000? My Discord were alerted to Argo at 97 pence on the LSE, and we are currently over 300% up, and Argo is still undervalued. So let's find out how far they can run. Those of you who don't know, Bitcoin blockchains are the companies that mine Bitcoin, almost like mining for gold, but the modern equivalent. And they do this by solving complex mathematical problems with the help of Bitcoin miners, essentially small supercomputers. And with this, miners can take a whole host of routes with the Bitcoin they mine. They can essentially sell it for its intrinsic value or hold for years to come. And Argo Blockchain holds. And good lord, they hold it well. Just a couple of notes before we get into the thick of it. The company has no debt. The company's CEO is constantly engaging and interacting with investors. They trade in the American OTC and English LSE. They just bought land for a new Bitcoin farming area in Texas, the new Silicon Valley, and Bitcoin is pushing towards $60,000 per Bitcoin. So let's jump into it. So why are Argo looking so good right now? Well, they recently upgraded a lot of their technology to better farm Bitcoin. The process of measuring the speed of Bitcoin being mined is called a hash rate, and Argo entered a contract to raise their petahash rate to 1,685 by the end of Q2 of 2021. 1 petahash is a quadrillion hashes per second. Now, if you're anything like me, that number is totally incomprehensible, so let us just compare it to some of the US counterparts and their stock price right now. Riot Blockchain, possibly the most known blockchain in the world right now, has a goal for mid-year of 2021 to have a petahash rate of 1,446, and their stock price is etching around $71. Marathon Planet has a goal to be completed by 2021 of 1,155 petahashes and has a stock price of 43.27. And Bitfarms has a petahash rate of 1,300 and has a stock price of $7.98. As you can see, companies widely exchanged in America are exponentially more valued than Argo, which has an upcoming petahash of 1,600 and trades for around $3.95. Now, these companies may have a lot more on their plate, but the comparison isn't invalid as Argo outshines them in many, many more ways. Argo are constantly progressing in the space and never sitting idle. They've recently started the project of purchasing 320 acres of land in Texas, which is strategically positioned next to a cheap renewable energy source to further expand their operations in America. Just as a note, Texas is becoming a pseudo-Silicon Valley due to its increasing opportunities for companies to pay less and less in tax. And the land itself will be increasingly valuable in the years to come. But we don't stop there for rapid expansion. Argo recently hired public relations advisor Waxman to market Argo in the US and XMS Capital Partners to support investor relations in the US. This push to attract additional US interest should be positive for Argo's share price. And talking about America, Argo is now within every criteria for wanting to upload to the Nasdaq, which has been hinted at in several interviews by CEO Peter Wall, with one interview in particular stating, "We aren't too far off of our plans to reach many more American investors." This upgrade would be astronomical for Argo's stock price, as with Bitcoin constantly rising, the company being opened up to more opportunities with investors would only push the price. Argo's CEO, Peter Wall, has made a point of being in consistent communication with shareholders. This gives me and other holders great confidence in the company's ability to keep holders confident. Argo has a YouTube channel on which there are clean and consistent Q&A sessions, easing the community, and there is a real drive for Argo to keep communicating and making value for shareholders, which of course we absolutely love to see. Peter Wall owns 570,000 shares, and while I would like to see some additional C-suite and director ownership, Mr. Waz's ownership provides confidence to shareholders that motivations are aligned. Now we have seen how incredibly lucrative the company is, we will end with a couple of other tidbits that Argo are doing right. Argo has multiple other revenue streams, including the mining capability and ownership of almost 5% of the world's Zcash, another cryptocurrency with great accolades for the future that rises in tandem with Bitcoin. They own $100,000 of Polkadot since 2019 and still have 75,000 tokens of this that they can utilize as a revenue stream based on its performance. And recently, they made a $100,000 investment in Luxor Technologies, another blockchain company. This all adds to the value that Argo can show in the future. They aren't spread too thin, they are making repetitively incredible investments for the future, and haven't stepped wrong thus far. And with Bitcoin pushing for $60,000, they are poised for a monstrous rise in SP, especially if more Nasdaq news is released. As usual, thank you for watching the video. I have been in Argo since 97p in the London Stock Exchange, and I think the company is absolutely incredible. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. I try to release a minimum of one video a week as I am constantly churning out company reports and educational content on my free Discord, so feel free to join. But once again, thanks again, and this is DD-Bae signing off.